Okay, so let's go for a quick test drive. Make sure the seat's adjusted where I want to be. Quite a few positions to adjust height-wise, back-wise. I guess that's a little bit too high. Steering wheel we can tilt and telescope it. It's a little tight. That's just about right. So drop it in gear, you just put your foot in the brake, pull it back into drive. Economy mode, so it's going to take off in fourth. Just a little bit of touching to the fuel and away we go. And we'll just head up, and we're in economy mode with this transmission, so it's going to jump a few gears at a time. Nice smooth shifting. See the usual road construction ahead. So I think we'll just turn around up here. Slows down automatically with the engine brake on. You need to stop a bit quicker, or you want to drop a gear for a light. U-turn here, and then we'll just go through the manual mode of the transmission. This Volvo ishift transmission has been in Canada for probably 5 years now, and coming in from Europe where they've used it for the past decade, and they use it over there with upwards of their 750 horsepower trucks. Here we have it matched anything from 310 horsepower right up to our 550 horsepower D16 engines. This one is currently in a 209 Volvo 670, which is our high-rise model with 2 bunks and a workstation. D13, 450 to 5 horsepower engine. So the manual, we can do that anytime. We just drop it into the M position. And now I change gears just with my thumb on this toggle switch. That was a quick downshift from 9th to 8th. We'll do one from 8th to 7th gear. A little bit of engine brake to do that. Revs it up a little bit to slide it into gear. Very, very smooth shifting. And as we increase our speed, we just keep gearing up with a push of the thumb. And back in automatic mode just by sliding it into the drive position. If I'm in drive, coming up to a red light here, I'm in 10th. Take my foot off the brake and the fuel and just let it slow down itself. Dropping gears, I'm doing nothing. When we get up to where I need to stop, put on the brake, automatically drops it into 4th. I haven't even had to touch a clutch. Truck is equipped with only a power divider, which engages the front axle and the rear axle together. Some models we bring in with a single differential lock, which locks the 2 sets of wheels from side to side. You can have it on the front axle, the rear axle, or both axles. Another mode on this transmission is what we call performance mode. Just push this button I get a P that comes up in the dashboard, and now it's going to go through every gear. So if I start it off with a load in first, it's going to go to second, to third, to fourth, all the way up to 12th. The economy mode will jump gears and go from 4th to 6th to 8th, as it's not necessary when there's no load on the truck. Performance mode, you have a tendency to wind it out just a little bit more before it changes gears, but that also burns a little bit. Construction of this truck is all steel. It's totally put together in Dublin, Virginia. A factory that's been there, the old white GMC factory. It's been there a lot of years, but a tremendous amount of upgrades to it. Cab is designed to meet Swedish safety standards, which far, far surpass any North American standards for trucks. Also standard on the Volvos is Volvo electronic stability. Basically, it's designed so that a driver cannot lose control by rounding a corner too fast, whether it's just on the highway or around an off ramp. If he's going too fast, it'll detect that. The engine will slow down as well as brakes being applied. Take off in performance mode this time, and just to see a little bit of difference in how that goes. Takes off in second gear. Our engine RPM goes a lot higher before it changes. Not necessary when we're running empty like this. Controls are right at your fingertips. Wipers, engine brake, radio controls. On the new trucks, the Bluetooth is designed in your radio controls as well, so you can mute it. On this side, of course, we got the signal lights and the cruise control. This vehicle is, for a truck with 1.14 million K, is very, very tight, clean, runs extremely well. And this is the type that Greg uses for converting to the RV pullers. Lots of horsepower, lots of comfort. One of the biggest advantages to working with a truck like this is the engine braking. Tremendous amount of trailers, whether it's an RV trailer, a horse trailer, stock trailer. Lots of trucks have the ability to pull it, but they don't have the ability to stop it. And this is where the engine brake with a large engine like this comes into play. And they're so easy to drive, just anybody can get in here and put it in gear, put your foot on the accelerator, and away you go. Okay, we'll take off again. Very tight turning radius here, which we'll demonstrate up at this intersection if there's no traffic.
Inside the road, you didn't even need the intersection.
No, they do turn pretty tight that way. Makes it much more maneuverable than a lot. We've actually got eco roll in place, which we won't be able to use right now, but it's a nice feature. If you're going on a slight downhill, it almost takes it out of gear and you just coast along. It's like pedaling a bicycle, and when you go downhill, you stop pedaling and just let the truck or the bicycle just roll along. Hill start's another nice feature with this. You park uphill or downhill, On a slope, you take the brakes off and you've got about 3 seconds to get your foot onto the accelerator, and the truck won't budge until you've actually put it in gear and got going. Okay, we're just going to do a quick reverse here, and to go into higher range with reverse. So we have 2 speeds in reverse to cover that extra ground in a hurry if you need to. And going from automated mode to manual mode is just very, very easy. You just take the shifter from drive into manual, and now we're going to manually change gears just with my thumb on the lever. So we're actually in 8th gear right now. Push it up, changes it to 9th, into 10th, and it's going to stay in 10th gear no matter what I do, unless I get close to stalling it. Then it'll drop down automatically. It won't let you stall the truck, but it'll hold that gear as long as high as you can RPM it. Let's drop down some more. 9th gear, 8th gear, 7th gear, all just with the touch of my thumb. And if I choose to go back into drive while we're driving, just put it in drive. We're back into the automated mode. Air-controlled seats, high and low with the push of a button. Also lumbar support, side support. Some of these seats are seated. Some also have a back cycler, where you actually have a motion that runs up and down your back just to keep the circulation going. And they're very, very comfortable for long drives when they work. Manual right now, so it took off in 3rd and it's staying in 3rd. I've never tested to see how high it'll rev just with staying. So it's going to stay put for if you ever need to pull a long hill and get some RPM steady as she goes. I like to be able to go for a long highway drive and just see how quiet and smooth these tractors are. This one, very, very tight, very, very solid, with 1.15 million kilometers on it.
I'll just mention what model it is in here.
Yeah, okay. This is a 209 Volvo 670, so it's our high-rise with 2 bunks, and it also has what we call the driver's lounge, which is a nice table setup similar to the RVs. It collapses down into a bed on the bottom if you want. You'll have a refrigerator, an inverter, so you can plug in your microwave and your coffee maker. And all of that is pretty well standard on the trucks that we bring in. Most of the trucks that we order come with at least a power divider, so you get power to both your front and your rear axle. You can choose to have differential locks on the front axle, on the rear axle, or on both axles, or depending on what you're doing and what kind of weight savings you want, you can just skip those and leave the power divider. In our part of the world, it's probably a good idea to have at least one differential lock. 5th wheel adjustment from in the cab. Just release it. You can adjust the distance slide forward and back of the 5th wheel depending on pin setting on the trailer. Perfect landing. Lots of room to get in and out of this truck. Lots of cab space.